Okay, today we're here with Cam Perry. Cam, how you doing?
Doing pretty good, man.
Good, good. Do you want to give take a second to introduce yourself?
Yeah, my name is Cam. I'm from Oklahoma City. Uh, I'm real excited about this opportunity, with Lambda School and stuff like that. I'm getting pretty close to being finished with the full stack curriculum, and I'm real excited to talk to you.
Awesome. Yeah, thanks for taking your time. And I know today's a Friday, so you're working on a sprint challenge too today. So appreciate it.
Yeah, it's no problem.
So how did you hear about Lambda? What got you to the program?
It's kind of funny because, like, I think I heard about Lambda, like, the first time I heard about them was, like, I think towards the beginning, like, I think it was maybe 1 or 2 months in, like, I saw a Reddit post about it. And
Hmm.
I was like, because I think it was when they were offering $1,000 to join Lambda School or something like that. And I was like, I'm not sure if I think it's legit or not. I don't know anybody's in it.
Yeah.
And I kind of like passed. I was like, no, forget this. And then I saw all the posts and Reddit was like killing, Lambda School for some reason. I don't know why. And then I was kind of doing the self-taught route for a while. And I think this was right around the time that my stepdad got real sick because I was in Louisiana at the time,
Hmm.
and I was doing direct sales while I was learning how to, become a web developer. And I think when he got real sick, my mom was texting me. She was worried about me. She didn't like me doing my sales job anyways, but
Hmm.
she's real protective and stuff. And it just was, I think it was a decision I had to make. And so I moved back home. I stopped, learning how to code for like maybe a year and a half. I don't know.
Okay.
And people like, and I'm part of this community. I don't know if you heard of Coding Phase. Have you heard of this guy on YouTube called Coding Phase?
I haven't. I'll have to take a look.
Yeah, like so, like he like pretty much I did I think it was an internship, a mentorship program with him, and like I learned probably more during that time than I ever learned anything else because I actually was doing real projects. Like every
Yeah.
week, he would say, Cam, you got to do this project. So I did like I think one web page a week.
Cool.
We started with doing HTML and CSS and moved the way up. And like people were seeing my progress, like everybody was rooting for me and stuff like that. And then, like I said, I just kind of, when my dad got in the hospital, like he was in the hospital for like 6 months, I just stopped
Mm.
altogether. Like I was just like, I was defeated. I was like, man, I guess this is it. I'm just going to get the regular job. And
Yeah.
then I think it was maybe July, maybe August. I saw Lambda again.
Hmm.
This was like a year and a half after me, not doing anything code related. And I was like, I'm gonna give this a shot because I'm tired of just being stuck where I'm at. I'm only making 8.75 an hour. Let
Hmm.
me actually go be committed with this. My dad's doing a lot better. I mean, he's still never gonna be the same. Like he only had a year to live at the time when he
Wow.
got real sick. And I was like, I want to just definitely go hard so I can, help my family, help my mom out because my mom is staying with my stepdad, and it's taking a lot of energy out of her. And like I know that if I do this for her and do it for my family, I know they'll be happy because it's a hard time. But
Yeah. Yeah. Well, sorry to hear about your dad. Hope that everything's okay right now. Um, did you, as you were going through that period where you were starting to learn, and then you kind of your dad got sick and you had to stop? Did you ever feel like imposter syndrome was kind of getting in the way of you learning and progressing?
I think that was definitely the case. I think it was when I got to JavaScript, like I just completely like locked up. Like it was hard. Like I
Yeah.
just like it was real easy. HTML CSS was real easy. Like I could do it in the back of my head. But
Yeah.
JavaScript, like I think when it got to like prototypes and stuff like that,
Hmm.
I wasn't feeling it, and I was like, man, this is too hard. I'm never gonna make it. And the funny thing is, I actually was doing interviews at the too. So like I think I just kind of just I thought that I wasn't good enough after I didn't get a call back after like I did like 3 or 4 interviews.
Wow. Yeah. So you went through that experience, things got tougher, and uh, you were kind of getting rejected on the interview side, and you just felt that you were kind of an imposter in the area, said, maybe this isn't for me, I can't do this. And then stopped for a while. How long again did you stop?
It was at least a year and a half, because I the only way I know it's been that long, and I didn't even know it's been that long, is like I said, I'm part of this community with coding phase, and people are like, Cam, you've been coding for 2 years and you still don't got a job. So it's kind of like they keep reminding me like every day about it.
So I love your story. I love the progression there, because I think a lot of students can really relate to this. But you got to that point where you felt like this wasn't for you anymore, and then when you got back into it, it's because you've got this amazing community behind you saying, "Hey, Cam, come on, let's do this." But then also you've got that motivation of the wanting to take care of your family, do this for your mother. How do you think those two things helped you get past that imposter syndrome?
I've always been a guy that like I've never completely given up on something. Like even if I stopped doing something, like even in sales, like I feel like I was doing direct sales. Direct sales is probably the hardest type of sales you can do. I was selling vacuums, and I had a boss that didn't think I could do anything. Like he said, Cam, you're not gonna make it. Like you're never gonna be able to sell 15 vacuums in a month. It
Wow.
took me about 3 or 4 months, but I've eventually sold 15 vacuums in a month, because like I don't like when people tell me I can't do anything. Like I will do it. Like it may
Yeah.
take me a lot longer than someone else that may be more skilled than me, but I'll get it done. And I think like having like people in just behind you, I think it helps you. And I eventually go back to it. I'm like, man, this is stupid. Like I just need to go hard and stop playing games.
Yeah. Yeah. How do you have any suggestions for building up that kind of a community?
Yeah, I think with anybody who's trying to like find like people that are like-minded, developers, anything like that, just reach out to like Discord, groups, stuff like that, or look on YouTube, because there's like plenty of YouTubers out there that have communities that you can reach out to, and a lot of them will actually actively help you if you're struggling with a particular topic or subject.
Cool. Cool. And what about finding motivation through like you found motivation through wanting to help your family? Can you talk about how that's helped you to overcome feeling like an imposter and jumping back into it?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like when when you have something, you gotta like. I always tell people, even in my current job, I work at Goodwill. I tell people you gotta have a why on why you're doing anything. Like if you don't have a reason or purpose for doing something, you're not gonna be 100% at it. You're just not. Like you just gotta like find it. I don't care what it is. If you gotta spend an hour, trying to figure out what your why is, spend an hour writing in a notebook. Like, because I have many notebooks, and I saw your interview that you did with like one guy who had like a bunch of notebooks.
Dante, yeah.
Yeah, it reminds me of me. Like I have like a bunch of notebooks like everywhere.
Yeah, I think writing down your why uh, is a great idea, because then it gives you something to go back to, something physical to go back to when you're feeling down, and when you're those thoughts creep in of maybe I should quit, maybe I shouldn't do this anymore. How often do you go back to that?
At least once a week. Because like I said,
Still?
there'd be day, yeah, because there'd be days where I'm just like, I'm not, and it's funny is I think like now, like it's, like it's, I mean, obviously I'm motivated to help my family, but I think now it's just me, like people keep reminding me of how much I make, with my job. I'm like, man, I
Mhm.
gotta make more money than this, because like, I can't be, making 875 when I'm like 30, 40, 50 years old.
Yeah.
And also I think I didn't say this earlier, but a lot of people at my job are supportive of me, like customers, coworkers, everybody. They're like, Cam, you can do this, and I
Oh,
think that
cool.
helps just having a support system.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that's one thing that I found kind of in common with a lot of people I've talked to about imposter syndrome, is having that support system, because I mean, this program is hard,
Hmm.
and there will be multiple times where you want to quit, where those thoughts come in that say you're not good enough, this isn't for you. And if you have that support system to lean back on, um, then they can remind you that this is, you can do this. This is just been a rough couple of days. Think of the times in the past that you've gotten through these hard times, and just kind of bring you back to reality, because it kind of grabs you and pulls you out of reality, and really pulls you to kind of a dark, scary place almost, huh?
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
1 second. I'll edit that out. So, yeah, it's definitely a hard journey, and I think, I mean, even today, I've been in programming for a while, for quite a few years now, and I still feel imposter syndrome pretty often. And I think as you go through more and more of those experiences, you just learn how to deal with it better for yourself. How you've been through the first through almost all of the web unit, so you're almost to your labs project. Do you feel like as you continue through the program, you've gotten better at dealing with imposter syndrome?
Yeah, I think most definitely. I feel like I think what confirms is, like I do weekly vlogs, on YouTube, and I feel like people like that are following my journey, like they're like even telling me like, man, you come so far, like you definitely have, and it helps that when you get confirmation that people are saying that, because then you're like, okay, I may have thought I maybe don't know enough, but these people are telling me I do. That I just need to get that in my head.
Yeah, yeah, and it takes a little bit of, it's hard to believe them over your own thoughts sometimes. What do you do to get that out of your head and focus on what other people are telling you?
Honestly, what I do is I just kind of just go over some, like if I'm like say I'm struggling on something, I'll go over some code. I'll step away for a minute. Like sometimes I'll spend I won't even look at it for a whole day if it's not a project for Lambda. Like I'll just take a whole day off, not even look at it. Come back the day later, and I'll figure it out just like that. And a lot of times that's what you got to do. You can't just be thinking, oh man, I can't figure this out. Oh, I'm not any good. Because I don't know if you have any students that you've been around where like you got this one student that's amazing, then you got these other people that are like kind of struggling a little bit, but they just need a little extra help. But they're all good devs.
Yeah, and they see that those couple students that probably have past experience that are doing really well, and so they don't want to reach out. They don't want to say, I need help, I'm struggling with this, because then they feel like people will look down on them or will be judgmental a little bit. Have you seen that at all?
Yeah, like I know when I first started, like when I first started Lambda School, like I told you before, I was terrible at JavaScript. So I was like, man, I seen these people like just blazing through this stuff. It took me about, I think, 4 tries to pass the Lambda challenge. So I was like, man, like I barely passed this thing. Like, and then some of these people are like telling they passed it, in like 10 minutes on the first try. I'm like, oh yeah, okay,
Yeah.
that's fine.
Yeah. So what did you do how did you break out of that? How did you get past that fear of being around those people that you look at them and they seem like they're so much better?
Me, I just stopped comparing myself to other people. Like that's really the big thing. Like I think, I've heard this many times. People keep telling me this, but then it finally clicked. I'm like, man, I just got to stop comparing myself to others and just compare myself to me. Like compare my progress, not the progress of others. Because if you compare yourself to others, you're always going to be in that infinite loop of like, thinking about, oh man, I'm not good enough. But when you start comparing yourself, you see your progress. You're like, oh, okay, now I can do responsive design. Oh, now I can do my own web apps, stuff like that. You can see it. And then you start looking at your old projects and like, oh man, like I grew so much.
Yeah, I think that's a great point to look back to see what you've done, and kind of give yourself some confidence on where you've been and how far you've come. And yeah, comparison is the thief of joy, I think, is the saying. As soon as you start comparing yourself to others, first of all, you're comparing your weaknesses to their strengths. You don't see their weaknesses. You're not looking at your strengths and their weaknesses. It's kind of this self-destructive pattern of comparing your own weaknesses to their strengths, and that's not a fair comparison. And it's just going to drag you down even further. So yeah, I think that's an awesome point. Do you have any if there was one piece of advice you could give to a student who might be struggling, feeling they're not good enough, feeling like this maybe isn't for them, what would you tell them right now?
I would tell them every day, no matter if it's 10 minutes, an hour, whatever, just, do some code. Like, stay at it. Keep even the days that, I don't know if you're at a boot camp, it don't matter. Like, you just got to stay coding like every single day, because if the day that you stop doing that, you'll forget something, and then your imposter syndrome will kick in again. Because if you stay at it every day, I don't see there's any, anything that will happen in your life that will, cause you to fail, because you're eventually going to get there. You may not get there right when you want to, but you'll eventually get there. So just stay at it and, don't give up.